Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my retrospective on Panic at the Disco. Today, I'm going to be looking at their third studio album, Vices and Virtues. So, after the release of Pretty Odd, apparently there was fan confusion, which I'm not really surprised by that. The fans probably would have been very confused that this emo alternative band did a Beatles-style album, and apparently received a mostly mixed critical response, so much so that in 2011, Rolling Stone called the record one of the boldest moves in rock history. Looking at some of these scores, they're generally favourable. I'm looking at some of the scores that I'm looking at like 70 out of 100, 4 stars, B minus, B plus, 2 stars, 7 out of 10, 3 stars, 3.5 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars out of 4. What did I give it? 6.8. I mean, okay, I reckon 2 stars is like way too low for this. And to be honest, I feel like anything like around the 70 area is pretty fair. But anyway, as far as overall weekly charts, the album peaked in the Australian ARIA albums chart at number 1, actually. That was the highest it had actually gotten. In the UK and US, it peaked at number 2 on the billboards. That's actually... And in the Scottish album as well. In the Scottish albums chart, it also peaked at 2. Alright. As far as certifications, it got Pretty Odd one. It got a gold. It got gold. I don't actually know the deal with it. But in the UK, it got gold. And in the United States, it got platinum. Which... from what I know, is like the highest you can get. Anyway, obviously, it had received enough success to get us a third album. This one's called Vices and Virtues. Now, this one is actually a bit of a concept album. The deal with this album is that it discusses... every single song in it explores a vice and a virtue. So, there's always a protagonist in these songs. They have some kind of flaw, some fatal flaw about them, but then there's also something good about them. Vices and virtues. So, yeah, that's the concept of it anyway. I like concept albums. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I like concept albums. They seem to always end up pretty good. But there was sadness within Panic at the Disco. Tragedy struck. Ryan Ross, the main lyricist, the backing vocalist, the main guitarist, and I think he also did keyboards, and John Walker, the new bassist, left over artistic differences, with Panic moving to change their sound once again, while those two clearly weren't on board with that. Which, I mean, to be fair, if they wanted to make more Fever You Can't Sweat Out, I can understand why they probably wouldn't want to do another Pretty Odd, because it's very different. Personally, I reckon Pretty Odd is better than Fever You Can't Sweat Out, but, you know, to each their own as far as artists go. Anyway, due to this, the album became a duo done with the main singer, Brendan Urie, and Spencer Smith, the drummer. Also, I found out from this, Ryan was apparently the principal lyricist of the band until he left, leaving Brendan to step up to the plate. Is there a lyrical difference between the two, and is it a good or bad change? We'll find out, I guess. Anyway. Also, so this is kind of part of the issue I have with vices and virtues. So originally there were 10 songs in the album, which, as far as I know, in albums, it's kind of short. 10 songs is pretty short for an album. But there are a bunch of bonus tracks. They add like an extra third. Like, overall, there are, I think, 15 songs if you include all the bonus tracks. A third of the songs consist of bonus tracks, and they're all from different stuff. If you got the album on this platform called Stockhound, you would get an extra song called Kaleidoscope Eyes, and the deluxe edition of the album included 4 bonus tracks: Stormy, the demo version of Oh Glory — by the way, there is no full version of it — I Want to Be Free, and Turn Off the Lights. And also, pre-ordering the album on iTunes gave another extra song, Bittersweet. So, yeah, far out. The only way that I've been able to listen to all of these songs, because I'll be looking at all the bonus tracks as well. The only question is what order to listen to them in. I decided to follow the order that's been placed on this YouTube playlist. So, as far as criticisms I have in ending songs and opening songs, I might be saying different things because this album has several ending songs, depending on the version you have. But, anyway, is there anything else that I need to get into before we actually get right into the songs? Oh, yeah. As far as I've found, YouTube is the only place that you can actually listen to all of the songs at once, because the deluxe edition doesn't have all the songs in it. There's no way of getting this album that has all the bonus tracks, and the bonus tracks aren't on Spotify, so it seems like YouTube is the only way you can get it. Anyway, so, as I said, following the order of the YouTube playlist, we're starting with Kaleidoscope Eyes, which is the first bonus track. But it was first in the YouTube playlist, so don't at me on it, alright? So Kaleidoscope Eyes. First of all, I like the guitar riff and the bass line. There's this nice echo sound. It's the same one that I actually commended. I think it was from the first album. I think the song was Line is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. I think that was the song, where it had this really nice echo sound to it, and I actually quite liked it. It's back! Also, the lyrics are a lot more, I reckon they're a lot more metaphorical than before, which kind of highlights a difference between the two songwriters. The chorus is really nice. Brendan has a really nice falsetto. There's this one lyric in it where it's like, I'm just a white blood cell fighting for you. Describing yourself as a white blood cell. Bit of a weird metaphor, but I get it. I really like this instrumental. There's some wooden percussion, it makes it sound almost tropical. The bridge is very punchy, and then makes a nice letdown for the more quiet third chorus. The song then stops very abruptly, like almost like it, or not super abruptly, but it's like it cut out before the very last note. Was that deliberate, or was it just like a bad edit on YouTube's part? I don't know. But then there's a bit at the end where Brendan does this odd pep talk to himself after the song's finished, before laughing like an absolute madman. This is still part of the track, though. It's a nice ending bit there. Very insane. I can get behind that. So apparently, the song is a toxic love song. It's about a guy falling for a girl with a drug addiction that makes her eyes twirl like kaleidoscopes. The guy is always there for her and will fight for her in any situation she encounters. I reckon that makes a really nice juxtaposition between this really sad, tragic story combined with a very cheerful sounding melody. Like, I was gonna say that this song could fit in Pretty Odd quite nicely if it weren't for how tragic this song actually is, because Pretty Odd, as far as subject matter, is all very light-hearted. I would say, judging this one as an opening song, I would say it's a better opening song than the previous two. It's not as pretentious or wordy as the only difference between Martyrdom and Suicide is press coverage from the first album, and it's longer than We're So Starving, so you get more quality in it. Also, I've just realized this is the first opening song that doesn't break the fourth wall and address the existence of an audience. The previous two opening songs were almost like a message for the listener, while this one just tells a story. I'd say I prefer this because I like to separate the artist from the art, death of the artist and all that. I feel like, the personal life, it can be an influence, it can be an inspiration, but to reference it directly, I think is a little bit, you know? Anyway, this song also seems to show that Brendan has started to apply more variation to his songs. The third chorus of Kaleidoscope Eyes doesn't sound the same as the last one, which I can't say about I can't say the same about previous songs. So maybe he started varying his song structures up a bit more now, which I reckon would be great. Anyway, I give this song an 8 out of 10. It's the best opening song so far. It's a very cheerful sound with nice variation that hides a very tragic song being told here. It's very nice. Next up, we have the Ballad of Mona Lisa. Now, as I had said in my previous retrospectives with the other two albums, pretty much with every album so far, I've gone into the album knowing exactly one song beforehand. For A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, it was I Write Sins Not Tragedies. For Pretty Odd, it was 9 in the Afternoon. And for this one, Vices and Virtues, it was The Ballad of Mona Lisa. And the previous two songs, or the previous two albums, the song that I knew beforehand turned out to be the best one in the album. So, yeah. I'm kind of expecting this one to be the best. Also, in the original version of the album, this was the very first song of the album. And I think in most versions of the album, it is the first one. So I'm judging this one as an opening song as well. I will say it's always a bit iffy having your most popular song first in the album. I reckon you gotta kind of tease the audience a little bit, you know? You gotta tempt them a little bit, leave them wanting a little bit, until it gets to the one that they actually know. I mean, to be fair, it's not like they're going to be able to tell which song ends up being their most popular in an album. But anyway, Ballad of Mona Lisa. There are nice chimes to bring in the song. The electric guitar is very, very dirty. There's a nice getting louder effect into the chorus. I forget what the name of it is. There's like an actual proper Italian name for it. But, it's that getting louder effect. Like, Yep, I'm a vocal master here. Yeah. Explosive vocals and instrumentals in the chorus anyway. It's like really good. I like explosiveness. I like explosions. I'm not Michael Bay though, okay? Don't at me. The chorus is very catchy. I can definitely see the appeal of singing along to the song. The lyrics are very easy to follow. Nice melody, nice rhythm. Yeah, it's nice to sing along to this one. The bridge is again another good letdown, slowing down a lot before doing a big third one. We get an echo effect on Brendan's voice added to this effect. I think when I said the bridge is another good letdown, I think I meant the verse. Slowing down to get back into the swing of the verse. Anyway, the pre-chorus has an interesting vocal layer with almost auto-tuned sounding backing vocals. I don't think it's actually auto-tuned though, because it actually sounds good. Anyway, the chorus is pretty much the same. It doesn't really change or progress, but that's okay. It doesn't always need to. The chorus itself is already a banger anyway. It's just worth mentioning since I brought up the whole variation thing earlier. So, this song, what's it about? Well, what's the theme? Well, it tells the story of a man dealing with two moral struggles at once. He has spent the night with a prostitute. Far out, why are there so many panic songs anyway, and must deal with the guilt that comes with that decision. At the same time, he's trying to determine whether or not he has any morality at all. Also, the whole deal with the Mona Lisa thing is like, well, one of the lines is, whoa, 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 Mona Lisa, I'd pay to see you frown. He likes having power over Mona Lisa, and he would enjoy it if something happened to tarnish her image. Because obviously the Mona Lisa is well known for her very distinct smile. Obviously, it would be quite a shock to see her frown at some point. And it would also be like, oh, I've got power over the friggin' Mona Lisa herself. I can make her frown. Anyway, I give this song an 8.5 out of 10. The song's a banger. Really nice sound throughout the verses and an explosive chorus. I can understand why people would say that this is their favorite song, but I would say that I like 9 in the Afternoon more. Still. Oh, far out, I forgot to mention. As far as... See, the thing is, for a lot of people, the Ballad of Mona Lisa is their favorite song. And not only is it their favorite, but for a lot of people, it's actually the best song that Panic at the Disco has ever written. It seems as though there have been a lot of different statements on what the best Panic at the Disco song is. I've seen some say that it's I Write Sins Not Tragedies. I've seen some say it's Death of a Bachelor, which I'll get into later. And I've seen people say that it's this one, The Ballad of Mona Lisa. I can understand why people would say that it's their favorite. I still like 9 in the Afternoon more. Anyway, let's kill tonight. That's not a statement, that's the title of the next song. Let's kill tonight. There's a nice drum beat at the beginning. Actually, you know what, the first, second of the song kind of reminded me of the Sonic Heroes opening. If you ever played that game, you would know what I'm talking about. There's a really strange synth. It's very unusual. I don't know what to think of it. Well, I mean, it's nice, but I've never heard it before. There are nice vocals in the verses, or actually in general, it's just a nice melody. The claps before the chorus make a really nice sound. It's kind of a step continuing the beat of the song when, at that point, the instrumental's all cut out and there are no claps. Or there's no sound other than the claps just before the vocals. Or, I don't know. I don't remember how the claps actually go. But the chorus is awesome. It sounds almost psychedelic or like a downward spiral of one's mental state, which I can get behind. Very relatable. It's a really sick sound. The second chorus makes the beat double time, which makes it sound even more frantic. The bridge incorporates synth, claps, and a siren. It's a really frantically eerie sound. The song cuts out again after the bridge. The song cuts out again, the last note of it, just before the song ends. And then there are some violins to fade out the song. So this song is a spiteful song about a past romance that ends bitterly. Their relationship has left Brendan with a cold heart, and he goes to destroy her reputation to get revenge, which suits the sound really well. The whole downward spiral thing actually works with either the guy's morality or the woman's reputation, or both. You know what, I'm gonna go with both. And as I had said before, each song on Vices and Virtues corresponds with a vice. This track deals with wrath and anger. What were the other ones? What were the other ones, actually, I'm wondering? I'm thinking Ballad of Mona Lisa. The vice would have been pride. And then the one before that, Kaleidoscope Eyes, might have been like delusion or naivety. Something like that. That's what I'm imagining anyway. That's just my guess. I'm not a composer. 8.5 out of 10. That's what I'm giving Let's Kill Tonight. The psychedelic chorus suits what the song's about really well. It's very boppy, but with a really sinister sound to it, which I'm actually a big fan of. I really like it. Anyway, next up is Hurricane. So the song opens up with like a jukebox sound. Like, it kind of sounds like you're entering like a diner, like an 80s diner, and the jukebox is playing this track. And then they get rid of that, and then you get a strong beat, a really strong beat leading into the guitar, and then we get into the first verse. Then we move on to the pre-chorus. One of the lyrics is, I led the revolution in my bedroom, and I set all the zippers free. Okay, Brendan. Alright. Just before we get into the chorus, there is the instrumental cuts out, and you only get the vocals. So vocals in silence, really nice effect. Awesome chorus with the chanting. Brendan gradually increases the pitch in the chorus in such a satisfying way. It's awesome. Also, we get into the second verse, and it begins with silence again, where he's like, oh, I confess in a room where I'm blessed. Awesome, awesome. More beat synth sounds. Very explosive chorus. I think I didn't really mention before just how explosive the chorus is. It's very... The post-chorus adds in more voices with each iteration as well. That's a nice change. There's a nice little riff in the bridge. There's like while the whole singing in that is all happening. It's awesome. Then you get another like, hey, hey, in silence. I found that, you know, when silence is done well, it's quite effective. It's a great effect. Brendan's vocals are excellent in this song. And the final claps are in silence again. Like, the song just ends with, like... It's great. And then you get this piano music to end things out. At this point, the song's already finished, but it's still in this track. It's almost like a jazz band, but seriously, what's with all these weird outros? So, remember when I said before that, I figured Ballad of Mona Lisa was going to be the best because previous record of Panic's albums, I was expecting the song I Know beforehand to be the best one in the album. I actually like Hurricane more than Ballad of Mona Lisa. I think it's better. It sounds better with a stronger sounding chorus while simultaneously sounding easier on the vocals. It sounds awesome. Also, I reckon it's got higher energy to it, which might also explain why I like it. I tend to like high energy songs. Anyway, this song is about a passionate romance that fizzled out. The vice embedded in the lyrics seems to be recklessness, with some possible virtues being temporary contentment, love, and passion. Yeah, and that might explain why I like the song so much. Genius Lyrics even says it's high energy. I found I really like songs with high energy in them, and very explosive sounds to them. Anyway, I give Hurricane a 9 out of 10. Maybe a controversial opinion, but I think it's better than Ballad of Mona Lisa. Extremely high energy that's really satisfying to hear, and an awesome composition. Next up, Always. Really nice acoustic guitar, nice soft vocals from Brendan, which is quite the departure from the songs we've had beforehand, where they've all been a lot harder. Drums come in the chorus, it sounds great. It's a nice, soft, slow sound. I really like his falsetto notes in this song as well, particularly in the chorus. There's a nice beat, which I think is like a nice drum beat, which I think is quite impressive since most slow songs don't bother with a particularly strong drum beat. This one did. So it sets itself apart even from Panic's other slow songs. There are some nice harmonies in the chorus. The strings in the bridge are a great sound. It's such a beautiful sounding song. It's great. Also, it's over very quickly. It's only 2.5 minutes, which I know isn't exactly the shortest Panic song, but still, it's very short. In fact, the song sounds very similar to Pretty Odd's slower songs, like I Have Friends in Holy Spaces, and She Had the World. So, this is a one-sided love story inspired by the events of The Great Gatsby. He's in love with someone that doesn't appear to offer as much attention as he gives her. Brendan wants them to send a signal of reciprocated affection. The verse suggests that he doesn't receive it. I kind of figured it was some kind of one-sided relationship, to be honest. Anyway, I give Always an 8 out of 10. It's a beautiful sounding song. I really like a lot of their slower songs, actually, I've found. This one has a stronger beat to it, though. It's just a really lovely sound. Listen to it. Next up is Memories. So Memories has a really explosive opening with electric guitar. Goes into the guitar then goes into the background for Brendan's vocals. There's a nice beat, and then the guitar comes back in and really cuts through the chorus. The extended vocal notes just make it sound even more cutting. It just pierces through the whole thing in a good way. We get some chimes in the second verse. The lyrics mention Streetcar Named Desire. And it reminded me of the show, Streetcar Named Desire. Nice story. Fun for the whole family. Anyway, next you have an instrumental bridge that's actually pretty unusual for Panic. Most of the time the bridges have vocals in them. Verse 3 has very little instrumentation. Really nice change. Then the chorus comes back in full force. Then there's like a choir, like harmony note thing to end the song off. Really nice ending to the song. So what's this song about? Well, a boy gives up his devout church life for a girl, and the girl gives up her family for the boy. They plan their life together, but in the end it doesn't work out and becomes mere memories. The moral is that there's no point in a 5-year plan, because it's probably not going to work out anyway. Interesting thought. I know basically every parent would disagree with that. I'm not sure how applicable the moral is, to be honest, as far as the song's concerned. Anyway, I give this song a 7 out of 10. It's a really nice chorus and a really nice sound. I wouldn't say it's quite as good as the others, but I could still see myself listening to it in my own time. And for those of you who don't remember, any song that I give higher than a 6 to means that I like the song and I can see myself going out of my way to listen to it again. If it's between 4 and 6, it means I find it's meh. I won't go out of my way to listen to it probably, but if it shows up on the radio, I'll probably still listen to it. I won't skip it or anything like that. And if it's below 4, it means if I know that it's playing, I will probably just skip it. Anyway, next up is Ready to Go, and then in brackets, Get Me Out of My Mind. So the intro kind of reminds me of some Eurobeat song about world peace or something like that. The verse sounds a little bit more generic than the others. Like, It's just the drums that don't really grab me that much. The chorus also sounds like I've heard this before. I don't know where, but somewhere. I don't know, maybe I actually have heard this song before. Or maybe it's like that, you know. Anyway, the guitar and Brendan's vocals sound nice, as usual. Uh, yeah, the chorus really doesn't jump out at me as much as others. It sounds much more like generic pop than the previous songs in the album. Not saying that pop's inherently bad, but a lot of the criticisms of it as a genre is that pop songs sound so similar to each other that they come across as very unoriginal, which isn't really helped by the fact that most songs in the pop genre are only written by like two people or something like that. Seriously, have I heard this song before? Like, the bridges hold deep, like, I think I'm ready, I think, like, combined with the instrumentals sound really similar. But again, I don't know where. Maybe I have legit heard this song in an ad before. I still give this song, Ready to Go, I still give it a 5 out of 10. Overall, the song seems more generic than the other songs in this album so far, and nothing seemed too special about it. Anyway, next up is Sarah Smiles. Another western sounding song at the beginning. The song becomes more filled out as it goes along with several guitars and bells. It sounds almost like a swing song. Then the chorus actually sounds pretty similar to a song from Fever You Can't Sweat Out, the first album. The bit where it's like Sarah, Sarah, like during the chorus, really reminds me of Mr. Blue Sky. Like, just that bit. Like, listen to the two together, like one after the other, and you'll see what I mean. The second verse sounds more like a mariachi band now, with, I guess, those instruments in them. Brendan's vocals and lyrics make it sound more similar to the previous verse. The pre-chorus has some crazy drums. The drum beat gets a lot more crazy in the second verse as well. Then during the second chorus, the Blue Sky type backing vocals are no longer there. So, there's that. The third chorus starts off in silence, or a cappella. I should start saying a cappella. The third chorus starts off a cappella, and then the music comes back in the same as the second chorus. Music. This song very much reminds me of a song from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, but with better musical progression in it. Apparently, Brendan wrote the song in an attempt to win over Sarah Orzechowski. I probably butchered the name. I am very sorry, Sarah. Who he then went on to marry. Apparently, this is his favorite song in the album, and after playing it to Sarah, they started going out. It's a good thing the story had a happy ending. Otherwise, this would probably be a bit more awkward playing this song. Anyway, I give this song a 6.5 out of 10. It's better than most of the songs in A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, but overall less memorable than the other songs in this album. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video off here. Did you like it? Did you think that was bananas? B-A-N-A-N-A-S? If you did, then be sure to check out the next part of Vices and Virtues. So, yeah, alright. Have a good one, guys.